Your Ionannapolis Daily News Brief keeps you informed about what's happening in Annapolis and Arundel County and Maryland. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and, of course, local weather. Your Ionannapolis Daily News Brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Monday, April 11th, 2022. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Ionannapolis Daily News Brief. I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. Mine was actually Friday started out with the always fun Bacon Brothers at Ram's Head on stage. And on Saturday, against my own advice, I ventured to a bar in Essex over the weekend called Crazy Tuna. Fun location right on the water and a fun time dancing to Weird Science. They're always such a good band to follow. All right, we do have some news, so let's get into it, shall we? Big news for the mall, and let me dispel the rumors that I heard flying around this weekend. The mall is not closing. Let me repeat that. It is not closing. The news is that the French company that owns all of Westfield malls has said that they plan to sell all of their U.S.-based properties by the end of 2023, including the Annapolis Mall, and they cited changing habits of shoppers. We don't know a lot, so we don't know if they're going to be selling them as a lot or individually. Time will tell, but the chances of the mall going away are very, very, very slim. If I had to guess, Simon Properties might pick it up. They already own many other malls across the country, including Arundel Mills, Potomac Mills, and the third largest mall in the nation, the King of Prussia Mall outside of Philly. Simon also bought J.C. Penney out of bankruptcy, so they have a little more skin in the game than most people. Of course, if you have $500 million sitting around, you can probably get in on the action yourself as well. Of course, we could also be looking at a huge shift in retail as well. In the 1960s, we were all about strip malls and strip centers, and in the 70s, it saw the advent of the malls that proliferated through the 80s and the 90s, and here we are. And we may be seeing something else coming down the pike. Don't know, but for now, your favorite stores at the mall are planning to stay. Last week, we mentioned that the library is planning a human library in May. Well, now they have another perk for card holders, which a card is free and everybody should have one. But now you can check out a pass to visit the Hammond Harwood House Museum in Annapolis. The passes are good for up to 4 people, and you can check them out and return them at any county library, and they are only valid for 7 days. And now is really a good time to go check out the artwork from Charles Willson Peale. That's on exhibit now at the Hammond Harwood House, and he is a fantastic, great American painter. As expected, the start of the construction of the new Hillman Garage that was supposed to start in January has now been pushed back to May 2nd, and this is the first time we've ever heard a specific date. According to an email sent by Ward 1 Alderwoman Ellie Tierney, she feels that the construction will take 14 months. Barring any issues, that puts the completion on July 1st of 2023. But she also did say that a contract has not yet been signed between the city and the contractor, so that might be an issue. Construction is planned to be from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. daily, and the only road closure, they say, will be Gorman Street, which is a little road that goes from Main Street and sort of tucks around behind the stores and dumps out on Conduit Street. And if you are parking in some street parking that you may have found after construction begins, please read the signs very carefully. What might have been free will be paid now via an app, and the cost may be as high as $4 per hour. The best bet is to use the other garages and use the various shuttles and circulator options that the city has in place. All of the details can be found at accessannapolis.com. And in that email on some unintended consequences, Tierney addressed how parents would handle babysitters, dog walkers, and guests. The answer was to use a visitor pass, which you've got to go and apply for and get that at everything else, or pay $4 an hour to park, but only up to 2 hours. As we begin to wrap it up, a few things for your calendar. I did this last year, and I am looking forward to it again this year. The Tour de Talbot. It is a 30, 40, or 62.5-mile bike ride in, appropriately enough, Talbot County. Wide roads, little traffic, incredible scenery, and this is the deal sealer for me, next to no hills. Bonus, you get a trip on the Oxford Ferry. You do have to pay for it, but it's always fun. We did record a podcast with Heather Grant, who's organizing this, so you want to keep an ear open for that. But to find out more about the ride itself, tourdetalbot.org, and that's tourdetalbot.org. And if you want to join me for a ride, send me an email. We'll get you in on the quote-unquote team. No Lycra allowed. Homestead Gardens has launched a speaker series for the spring all about pizza making. No, it's all about gardening. Yeah, gardening at Homestead Gardens, that's what they do the best. On the 13th, you're going to see rare and exotic houseplants. The 20th is foodscaping. The 23rd is growing edible in containers. 23rd and 24th is our urban veggie weekend. The 30th is growing and preparing Asian vegetables. And it continues through May. And you can check out all the schedule at ionannapolis.net, or you can go to homesteadgardens.com. Lots of good stuff coming up there. Today is the final day of the legislative session. It does end at midnight. To the legislators, I say don't let the door hit you in the butt on the way out. Annapolitans will regain their town for about a month or so until Memorial Day and the tourists begin to arrive. And hey, here's a heads up. Tomorrow we are going to be giving away tickets to see the Four Tops at Maryland Hall for our Ticket Tuesday giveaway, so you want to make sure you're listening to that. Some podcast info you need. Hopefully you caught our local business spotlight on that great new fitness option at the Annapolis Town Center, Snap Fitness. Next weekend, Unity Gardens. And I think there may be a bonus pot or two this week as well. I need to check my schedule. Of course, if you have any suggestions for businesses that we need to spotlight, send them my way. All right, that's it for the news. But first, a quick thank you to our sponsors for today's daily news brief: Solar Energy Services, the Kristi Neidhardt Team of Northrop Realty, a Long End Foster Company, the Roof Guy Annapolis, and Alpha Engineering. All righty, it is Monday, and Alsina from CovingtonAlsina is here with your Monday Money Report. And of course, George Young from DCMDV Weather is here with your locally forecast weather. All of that coming up in just a bit.
Hi, this is Gary Ledard, owner of the Roof Guy Annapolis. For over 15 years, my team has worked with hundreds of homeowners to provide the highest quality roofing in Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. As a homeowner myself, I understand when it's time for a new roof, you need to find a roofing company you can actually trust. One that will give you the bottom line. No fluff, no runaround. At The Roof Guy, it's my goal to build lifelong relationships and aspire to change what people have come to expect from a roofing contractor by delivering great experiences. So if you're looking for a roofing company in Annapolis or Anne Arundel County that holds the highest standards for quality, craftsmanship, and business reputation, call me today to schedule your free roof evaluation at 410-570-4956 or visit my website at theroofguyAnnapolis.com.
When you live near Annapolis, you know how fickle the weather can be. So you need a truly local forecast that's accurate and reliable. Forecast right here in Annapolis. DCMDV Weather is not just for today, but for the rest of the week and the weekend too. Now here's George Young of DCMDV Weather with the weather outlook for today and beyond.
Hey everyone, this is George with DCMDV Weather, and this is your Ionannapolis forecast for Monday, April 11th. It was a cool weekend across the Annapolis region, but this week will be very different with warmer temps, though we might have one more cool stretch to get through next week before full-time springtime conditions take over. Look for a fair amount of sunshine today with highs in the low to mid-60s with slightly breezy winds remaining in place ahead of upper 60s to mid-70s tomorrow, with a small but valid chance of some very light rain showers in the morning hours with mixed skies and 70s then for highs Wednesday afternoon, ahead of more 70s and some rain showers on Thursday with mixed skies and mid to upper 60s likely Friday through Sunday, though we will need to keep an eye on the end of the weekend and next week for changes as model guidance is showing one more chilly air mass moving into position for the eastern U.S. around the 17th or 18th of the month. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DCMDV Weather. Make it a great day out there today. Stay healthy and be safe. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter for regular updates each day, as well as through our website at dcmdvaweather.info. And as always, be sure to download our DCMDV Weather app on all of your devices from either the Apple or Google App Stores, so you can always stay weather informed.
Hello, energy consumers. This is Rick Peters, president of Solar Energy Services. Is all this talk of inflation making you uneasy? Me too, especially the uncertainty. How bad will it eat into my future purchasing power? Well, don't feel helpless because solar energy can give you some financial control. By installing and owning your solar system, you can lock out electricity cost inflation by locking in your electricity price for more than 25 years. Many of our inflation-fighting clean energy systems offset 100% of the annual electricity demands. Customers frequently add electric vehicle charging and backup batteries to their solar projects, providing them inexpensive auto fuel and additional energy security for the home. Let's make 2022 the year that you freeze energy inflation in its tracks by committing to affordable, clean solar energy. Call us today at 410-923-6090 or visit us at solarsaves.net. But don't wait another minute. Sunshine's a wasted.
Sunshine, sunshine, nothing else can make me feel so fine.
You work hard for your money. Is your money working hard for you? Managing and investing, it can be confusing. Ann Alsina, a financial planner from CovingtonAlsina, has been helping people make sense of it all for over 17 years. Are you ready? Now here's your Monday Money Report.
This is Ann Alsina of CovingtonAlsina with your Monday Money Report. Last week, the markets were up, then down, then up. Is anyone else getting dizzy? The overall outlook for the economy in general, and stocks specifically, is positive for the next 6 to 9 months. The trouble spots are pretty obvious. Geopolitical concerns, inflation, energy costs, and of course, the yield curve inversion we discussed last week. On the bright side, initial jobless claims fell to their lowest level since 1968, and continuing unemployment claims are holding steady. There are just under 2 job openings for every unemployed worker, and unemployment is down to 3.6%. The markets reacted to the notes from the meeting of the Federal Reserve Bank Board of Governors, the Fed. Remember that the Fed has a dual mandate, price stability and full employment. We're good on the employment side, possibly too good. Price stability is another way of saying inflation, and that is well above the long-term average goal of 2%. The Fed stopped buying bonds, reducing the amount of money going into the system. In March, they raised rates by 0.25%. Initially, indications were that rates would rise about 1% this year. Now, we may be looking at a 2% increase. Inflation is too many dollars chasing too few goods. The Fed is making it more expensive to borrow money, trying to reduce the too many dollars side of the equation. When Congress works alongside the Fed by reducing government spending and/or raising taxes, we often get a soft landing and a smoother ride. Historically, if the Fed is forced to raise rates sharply and higher than normal levels, we end up with a recession. If you're working, market drops are a good thing. You can buy more shares for the same money. The worry becomes if you lose your job. We're probably at least a year out from the next recession. So take this time to polish your resume, get another certification, and reach out to your network just to touch base. As rates keep rising, pay down variable debt, especially credit cards, and build your rainy day fund. Your action item to take this week is to check the hoses on your washing machine and clean out your dryer vent. You should have braided metal hoses to help prevent leaks. And dryer lint is a leading cause of house fires. If your laundry room is in the basement, take the time to check your sump pump if you have one. Preventative maintenance is much cheaper than repairs later. You can always find more information on our Facebook page or our website at CovingtonAlsina.com. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SPC. Investment advice offered through Great Valley Advisor Group, a registered investment advisor. CovingtonAlsina and Great Valley Advisor Group are separate entities from LPL Financial. All performance references historical and is no guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. The opinions voiced in this show are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which strategies or investments may be appropriate for you, contact the appropriate qualified professional prior to making a decision. And if you don't have a financial advisor, come talk to us. This is Ann Alsina with CovingtonAlsina.
Another moving moment from Kristi Neidhardt of the Kristi Neidhardt Team from Northrop Realty, a Long and Foster company.
One of the most common questions we get, how do I maximize the value of my home before I sell it? It's a great question. We look at improvements like investments. What is the rate of return? For example, if we invest $5,000 in painting kitchen cabinets and installing granite, how much more will our home sell for? The answer? About $25,000 more. That's a 500% return on investment. Because of returns like this, we have started a program called Investing in You. We know cash is often tight when you're making a move, and we are here to help. We will front you up to $15,000 to invest in refreshing your home before you list it, with the agreement to be paid back once your home settles. Call us today so we can help you maximize your home's value.
That's another moving moment from Kristi Neidhardt. To get in touch, call 410-599-1370 or visit kn-team.com. That's kn-team.com.
You've been listening to the Ionannapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues. This is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. And don't forget about our website, Ionannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. And make sure you follow us on Facebook at All Annapolis and on Twitter at Ionannapolis. This Daily News Brief podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m.